Hey guys, welcome to the Centre Bounce for this another week of mid-season team review / report cards. It's your boy Joe, and we got Big J. How you doing, man?
Mate, I'm pretty happy. It's Adelaide today. The Windy City. I think it's the Windy City, the city of churches, the team that everyone seems to forget about and has been forgotten about in recent times. But they're back. I think they're in the top 8, right?
They are. They are seventh on the ladder to be precise, mate, with 7 wins and 6 losses, with a decent percentage of 116.5.
Mm-hmm.
Um, definitely got a major boost thanks to last week's demolition of West Coast. So they
Oh,
can
mate.
have a massive thank you to them. It would have been very easy to have that be the performance of the year, but let's be
Yeah.
real. The Dandenong Stingrays right now could beat West Coast. We've got here their best performance was when they were challenged at home against the Brisbane Lions, who are firming to be a true grand final contender. They beat them at their own game, which was very impressive.
Yeah, I hope the season isn't defined by which teams played West Coast twice, but I really feel like it's going to start happening. We might see a sneaky team or two getting into the top 8 because they've got, plus 30 to their percentage because they played
Yeah.
West Coast twice. It's a tough one. This game that we've highlighted was one of their make or break games, one of their games where they had to step up and show the league, hey, we're competing. And for a team that was effectively rebuilding a couple of years ago, they're doing very, very well.
Yeah, 100%. They've, I sort of forecasted in our pre-season review, pre-season update, I suppose, preview, should I say, of the Adelaide Crows, that this was their second year under the fitness guru, Darren Burgess, and that I was expecting to see a real big uptick in their performance, that there were a sneaky chance of rising. And that's exactly what we've seen this year. They're 7th on the ladder, and they've showed that they're currently ranked 7th as well on the metrics. So it's one of those rare circumstances where the metrics and the ladder actually marry up perfectly. And it's mainly off the back of this offense rating. Look at that. 5th in the league when you're spearheaded by Tex Walker, by the big Texan.
I was going to say the same thing. I mean, last week, he kicked 10?
Yeah.
How many times did he kick double digits in the AFL? Spearheaded by him. If he's out, I think they can really feel it. Similar to a Port, who we might talk about a bit later today. It's a tough one. And hopefully, he doesn't retire in the next year or two, and they can keep him on and build that forward mix. But he's going to be missed when he is gone. So defensive rating of 14th. It is a big issue for them at the moment. A lot of goals go in, especially from opposition key defenders. Tom Duday has struggled in the past. They really struggled without him. And Max Michelini, yes, has come through, but I think they almost need another key defender in there. 6 for coaches' votes. And as we say, Taylor Walker, 38. Mate, it was 28 before this week, so 38 is pretty good halfway through the season.
Yeah, absolutely. They lost Billy Frampton to the Pies, and he obviously was probably someone that they might have, in hindsight, have liked to hold on to because he is capable of playing as a key defender. But Adelaide supporters probably don't rate him very highly, and no one was really complaining much when he left. So look,
he's been doing all right for the Pies.
He has been very good for the Pies. But we're not talking about the Pies. We're talking about Adelaide, and someone who has been our mid-season start for the Adelaide Crows. It is the skipper, the new captain for the Crows. He came across from the Swans last year, was his first year, and automatically, just like that, they have elevated him to the skipper. They have immense trust in this man, Jordan Dawson, one of the best kicks in the competition. He's been given a lot more midfield time this year. He's been stepping up, getting more CBAs, and he has been tearing games apart. I always remember what he did to Paddy Cripps at home. He absolutely torched him, took him to the cleaners, and brought him back squeaky clean. Unbelievable. Elite for kicks, elite for meters gained, above average in disposals, contested possessions, and score involvements. His possession leads to scores.
Mate, this guy is so good. We talked about versatility in the preseason and how beneficial it can be for some players and how detrimental it can be for others. being relegated to a specific spot, or as Callum Mills knows, kind of being moved around too much in a game. Jordan Dawson, I reckon you could play this guy in forward pocket and he'd still be elite in a few stats. He's a freak. They only paid up, pick 19 or something for him. Mate, Sydney got fleeced. Every time they see his stats, every time they see the leaderboard, they must be hankering. They're just like, mate, I don't know why we gave up nothing. Why we got nothing for him last year. And as you say, basically walked into the club, became the captain, and has done a captain's duty, has pulled them out of mistakes, has pulled them out of tight games, and has led the team, which is bloody fantastic.
That's exactly what you want from your captain, from your leader, and he's one of the more experienced players on the list. Such is the talent in that young side. He's no longer having to play that half-back role that he was playing in his first season. He's now on the ball, where he's able to use that damaging disposal of his to hit these dangerous key forwards like your Taylor Walker, like your Riley Thilthorpes, Darcy Fogarty as well. They are shaping up to be one of the most deadliest forward combinations in the league, hence why they were so highly rated offensively. And then you add to the fact that you've got wonderful smalls. You've added Isaac Rankin to the side. You've got Rochelle. So you've got this guy where he needs to be, kicking the ball into that dangerous forward 50. Nix has got a wonderful team building right before our very eyes.
Well, as you talk about it, he's done really well. Who have we got on the list for player that really needs to step up and do better? Mate, that's Big Sam Berry, the guy that kind of was influential over the last couple of years and touted as, hey, he's the one that's going to be breaking out. But as you see there, every stat is almost below average. Below average in disposals per game, to below average in contested possessions, in kicks, in score involvements, and in clearances. It really feels like maybe he's been put on a tagging role or something like that, but someone's stealing all his ball because he just wasn't this type of player a couple of years ago.
He wasn't this kind of player last year even. It's things have changed very quickly after the trajectory that he was on. Suddenly it's come crashing down, and he's really fallen out of favour now all of a sudden at the Adelaide Crows. They've got Ben Keys, they're happy to send Ben Keys back into the midfield. They're happy to give Rory Sloane, who was meant to be on a wing, more time on the ball. They've now got Dawson on the ball. And all of a sudden, you're obviously not dislodging Rory Laird from there either. So all of a sudden, Sam Berry's spot in the list has really diminished, and he needs to try and lift his game to try and break his way back into that side again, because the way things are going, Adelaide is winning, and he's not part of it. So it's good for Adelaide, Sam, but it would be even better if they had more, I suppose, competition for midfield spots.
Yeah, I guess the medical sub still gets a trophy, still gets a medal if they win the grand final, right? So, yeah, could be a lot worse.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be worse. But we've given them overall, it's very hard. The Adelaide Crows could have had a much worse season thus far, but they have been absolutely terrific. We've given them an A- for these reasons.
Yeah, they've had really good wins against some of the top teams this year. Teams as well that have been competing, that we knew that were going to be teams pushing for the top 8 or at least in the top 4. So wins against Port, Freo, St Kilda and Brisbane, though they have struggled when they can't play at home. So some of their losses have come from there. If they start building that differential up, if they start winning more away from home, the grand finals at the MCG, majority of teams in the AFL play in Melbourne, either at Marvel or the MCG. So they've got to win those games to try and push themselves up the ladder and get a better score on our rankings for the rest of the year.
Absolutely, and really just to cement themselves as genuine finals threats. And that's probably the one big hurdle that team that we reviewed last week when in there by Brisbane also have an MCG-shaped problem at the heart of their team. But that, 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, was our wrap-up of the Adelaide Crows. They have been sensational this year. They've been a surprise ticket for many people. But here at the Centre Bounce, we saw it coming and we were excited, and we can't wait to see what comes next.
Yeah, there's so many good developing teams that kind of were bottom of the ladder the last couple of years ago and have really stood up. Adelaide's one of them. I'm keen to see where they go for the rest of the year.
100%. So, guys and girls, Thank you very much for watching. You know, here at the Centre Bounce, we do the hard work so that you don't have to. Bye for now.